welcome to you all at home.
Both McLaren start on the median, feeling strong ahead of the race.
You've still got a chance to win this race, haven't you?
Just try. I wanna be the only one to make it through the line. Take it to the edge where I've lived 1,000 lives.
When I brake very late, to open up the left hand.
Fascinating race ahead.
Welcome to day 2 here in Barcelona as pre-season testing continues. Yesterday revealed a little of the Williams pace, but also that the Mercedes isn't bulletproof. What will today reveal? It revealed the VJ-M08. Force India's 2015 Challenger finally emerged just after midday, 26 days after the other cars first ran in Jerez. It picked up a puncture on its installation lap, but got back out again for another 4 before lunch, including 1 timed lap. And after lunch, the day got even better, with a further 72 circuits. So, car out on track for the first time today, but you got a decent number of laps in. Are you pretty pleased?
About that, yeah, for sure. 77 laps, pretty much only in an afternoon is not so bad. The car ran, just fine out of the box. There was no issues from the drivetrain side or hydraulics, car, whatever. It was all pretty smooth and straightforward, so that's very positive and encouraging. But obviously, we're playing catch-up at the moment, doing the checks that everybody has done weeks ago. But yeah, as far as I can see, it was a positive day. But now, obviously, we need to try learn about this car quickly.
How does it affect the driver being so far back in terms of the testing? When do you get to do the stuff you need to do, or do you have to do it at the same time?
I get to do them now and then in Melbourne. And then it's just getting thrown into the cold water and see how you get on.
And how is the car? Drivability?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, some areas remind me of last year's car. It doesn't feel like a totally different car. Some areas are better, I can tell already right away. Some areas we still need to work on. But I think that's quite a usual thing at this time.
Can you tell yet if you'll be able to compete, or will you have to wait a few races?
I think we'll have to wait a bit longer. I mean, just after one afternoon, it's a bit difficult to tell.
McLaren also had a better day. Jenson Button was out soon after the session began and completed 44 laps in the morning. And after a solid afternoon's running, that total rose to 101 for the day, the team's best day testing to date. Jenson, what sort of areas will we see improvements in, or will you see improvements in by the time we get to Australia, do you think?
I think everywhere will improve. When we've had probably 2 proper days of testing, and that's been it so far this winter. So, there's a lot of areas that we need to improve, and every single little thing will be improved by the time we get to Australia. So, I think there's a good feeling up there in the office. It's great to have such a long debrief. Normally it's not so long, but today very long, and a lot of information, a lot of talk with the factory of direction and not just how we get the best out of this car for the first race, but long term. So it's been a good day.
Have you run on full power yet, or anywhere near full power?
I wouldn't know. For me it feels like it's pulling reasonably well, and the important thing for a driver is we all want more power. That's pretty straightforward for racing. More power, more grip, more downforce, easy to drive. But realistically, I think we've got to look at the important things for us right now, which is the drivability and getting the best out of everything that we have. The gear shifts and things like that. It's all still quite new. So drivability is good. Happy with that. Of the engine, there's some tweaks we need still, but in that area we're reasonably strong.
Just finally, you've got one more day in the car before you get to Australia. How are you feeling with the end of today compared to how it has been in testing so far? I mean, this is the best day for McLaren. Things on a pretty steep upward curve by the looks of it.
Yeah, it is, and the only thing is when you do have a full day of testing, you look at the times, and maybe you shouldn't, because we've got a lot of work to do in terms of improving our pace. But yeah, it's a massive leap today in terms of just the atmosphere in the team because of a full day of running. And you know, 2 more days like this would be fantastic, and I think we'll see some big improvements hopefully over the few days. And it's not like things that we're going to bolt onto the car. It's more just trying to get the maximum out of what we have right now.
Ferrari are yet to do a race simulation. Their day 1 running was interrupted by reliability issues, but day 2 involved some aero testing and putting the energy recovery system through its paces. The day ended with 143 laps on the board for Sebastian Vettel and the 4th fastest time.
Sebastian, you did more than 2 Grand Prix today. Did you win one of them?
I don't know. It depends what the others are doing, but it was obviously good at the final test to do more and more mileage. Obviously, it's normal when the car is new and you try to do more and more and more. Also, some things make you stop and you have to check. But today we didn't have any problems, so that was positive.
You still have 1 day of test. Are you satisfied so far with the car? Are you in the point where you wanted to be when you decided to come to Ferrari and start the test?
I'm definitely very happy to be here, but never satisfied. I think there's still a lot of work to do, a lot of things that we can improve. I think as a team, especially working around the car, working with the car, so obviously there's a lot of new things still for me, so I think it is normal that these things will take some time.
Williams continued to run their car, and again without any issues. A run on the softs for Valtteri Bottas put him at the top of the timesheets for a while, but almost 5/10 slower than his teammate managed the day before. Red Bull's pace is still unknown, and Danny Kvyat broke down at the end of the start-finish straight just over an hour into the afternoon's running, but he still managed 84 laps. Christian, how would you say today's going?
Well, it's accumulating, mileage and information, on sort of longer runs as well. So had a couple of little issues, but no, it's been a reasonably sensible day.
When we spoke to you last week, you said that Renault are going to give you a refined package to run here. Are you able to run everything at the moment? You're going to have to wait and run some more in Melbourne? I
think it's a question of sort of general evolution. So we've got bits and pieces we're trying today, some more bits over the next couple of days. But you're looking at that Mercedes time, it's a little depressing, but hopefully they're not running around with 80 kilos of fuel to do that.
I was going to ask you about that. It kind of surprised everybody. We knew that car looked quick, but that was quite an impressive time on those soft tyres. Is it where you thought they were?
I suppose it is about really where they are at the moment, because they've been running obviously relatively conservatively throughout the testing, so they've obviously started to wind it up a bit, and you can see that the performance gap is pretty ominous. So everybody's pretty tight behind them, but they seem to have quite a gap at the moment.
Everyone's been saying it's quite hard to read where Red Bull are right now in terms of performance. You can keep the car on the track, but performance-wise, are you satisfied? Are you where you want to be, near where you want to be, or where you think you should be?
Well, it's not as close to Mercedes as we'd like to be, but I think we've had a pretty sensible run so far. So we're learning lots, and we've got more developments coming in the build-up to Melbourne. So we'll only really know where we are on that first Saturday qualifying session in 2 weeks' time.
This time 12 months ago, it was a tough pre-season, I should say, for Red Bull. McLaren are going through that now. Do you have much sympathy for them?
It's not a question of sympathy. Look, McLaren are a good team. Honda have got a huge amount of experience. I think we demonstrated last year things can be turned around pretty quickly, and so it'd be foolish to write them out of things at the moment. They've obviously done quite a lot of laps today, so I'm sure they'll be in better shape by the time they get to Melbourne.
Just finally from me, 2 more days here. How would you like to leave here? What would you like to have put on the board?
Obviously good to be racking up more mileage, just getting a better understanding of the car, the setup of the different tyre compounds. There's so many things that you want to sign off on, and inevitably we won't be able to achieve all of that. But hopefully the vast majority we will have covered going into Melbourne. So compared to 12 months ago, we're in much better shape. But where we are relative to the others, who knows?
Do you think you'll hit the ground running in Melbourne?
I hope so. I mean, Daniel was fantastic there last year. It'd be great to be competitive at his first race, or his home race. So, let's see.
Mercedes had another solid day, but Nico Rosberg sat out for 90 minutes of the afternoon for what the team called mechanical changes. It turned out Rosberg wasn't happy with the balance of the car, but he was happy enough to set the fastest time of testing to date. a 1:22.792, over 7/10 quicker than anyone else. Nico, quite a quick lap around there. That car looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean we are confident that we have a good car because we have a great team at the moment, and but at the same time we're also well aware that the others have been posting some quick times, and so we need to keep our heads down and keep working. And today was a difficult day because even though all the numbers looked like they were in the right place on the setup, actually the setup was very, very far away from where it needed to be, and we don't really understand that. So the whole day we've been chasing, the setup and trying to find the right direction, and it was really difficult to understand where to go. Just had a lot of oversteer in the car, so the rear was just all over the place, and poor traction and all these things. And so it's been the whole day trying to move into one direction, and eventually then in the end it was feeling more decent, and then putting the soft tires on, that gives the grip anyways, so with the soft tires it doesn't really matter what the balance is, more or less it'll be possible to do a good lap, and no, I'm pleased with my laps. They were both exactly identical, and so it's okay, good ending.
When we went out on track earlier and watched that car, it looks fairly planted. It looks like it's pretty effortless to drive. How is it feeling at the moment?
That's not what it feels like. It feels very much the opposite. Because today the car was really not good on the rear. It was really the opposite of planted. That's my subjective opinion, of course. It might look good from outside compared to everybody else, but I always want better and better and better. And so it's still work in progress.
But they did change the balance for you for this afternoon. It felt better, did it?
Yeah, but the whole day we were going in the right direction, but it took a long time because we were just extremely far away, and that's very unusual, and so it caught us off guard a little bit.
Lotus continued to show signs of improvement with over 100 laps for Pastor Maldonado. The car is reliable, but does it have pace? 140 laps today, and then what happened in the last minute?
Yes, we've been doing some tests with the car, so nothing that was not under control of the team. So it was a long day, quite positive in terms of mileage, race simulation, a lot of long runs, a lot of fuel in the car, a lot of hard tires, medium tires, so it was quite positive. So looking forward to keep doing well and getting ready for the race.
Are you looking forward to getting on the softs and seeing what it's really got, that car?
Yeah, we use a couple of sets today, but maybe not at the best time. And we need just to think more about the performance from this moment. I think it was very important to make the mileage today. It was done, so looking forward for the last 2 days. Tomorrow will be Romain in the car, so it will be very useful to see him how the day will be developing.
If it wasn't at the best time for the softs, do you have an idea of what sort of pace you've got in the car, where you are?
Yeah, I think not very far from the group. I mean,
where you are at the moment? Or?
There is a very compact group behind Mercedes. It's easy to see, so we should be close to that.
Would you be hope to leading that though with the Mercedes power in your car?
I mean, with the Mercedes, it's always good. There is a difference, in terms of not only power, even reliability. So it's completely another concept, and we are quite happy, and we will do our best to try to learn more from the engine. But for sure, there is some more coming.
Alan Permain told us last night he thinks Q3 in Australia should be the target. Do you feel that car will get you there?
That's the target. We need to do our best, and hopefully, yes.
With all teams running, 9 garage spaces were occupied today, but could we see a 10th filled in Melbourne? We heard today that Mana Marussia F1 are on the FIA's confirmed entry list for the 2015 season. It's now a race against time to get the car ready, to get it crash tested and to get it on the freight to Australia 1 week today. We'll have a roundup of day 3 at the same time tomorrow and updates throughout the day on Sky Sports News HQ.